Ever feel like you're just drowning in business advice? You pick up a book, you're hoping for that one big idea, but you've got to wade through hundreds of pages just to find a single golden nugget. Well, what if you could get all the gold without any of the filler? That's exactly what we're going to do here. We are boiling down the absolute best lessons from 40 powerhouse business books into one clear, actionable roadmap. I mean, this quote from millionaire businessman Mark Tilbury just hits the nail on the head, right? It's a frustration we have all felt. So think of this explainer as your personal gold detector. We have done all the sifting for you so you get the core principles that are actually going to make a difference. That's right, 40 books. We're talking about thousands of pages, hundreds of hours of reading, all from the absolute best minds in business and entrepreneurship. We've done that heavy lifting for you. So we can bring you this, just four. Four simple, powerful pillars. This is the framework you can use to build, sell, market, and manage pretty much any business, starting right now. So here's the game plan. We're going to start with nothing but an idea, learn how to sell it to anyone, then figure out how to get the world to notice, and finally, how to manage the money when it starts rolling in. And definitely stick around for that final ingredient, because it's the glue that holds all of this together. All right, let's jump in. Pillar 1, start with nothing. This is for anybody out there who's got an idea but thinks they need a giant pile of cash to get started. Spoiler alert, you don't. You just need a solid process. And here it is. This is the process. But notice something really important here. It doesn't start with market research or funding. It starts with you. You find your strengths, then you generate an idea that actually uses them. You create a super lean plan, test it with a bare bones version, and only then do you go all in on the full vision. It's a roadmap that's designed to minimize your risk every single step of the way. So let me ask you this. Think about how you spend your time. Are you trying to fix your weaknesses, or are you doubling down on what you're naturally good at? See, society tells us to fix our flaws, but books like StrengthsFinder 2.0 argue that's a huge waste of time. Your biggest wins come from pouring energy into your innate talents. Think of it this way. Your talent is a multiplier. The more natural talent you have, the bigger the return on every hour you practice. So stop trying to be a little better at everything and start becoming 10 times better at your thing. Okay, once you know your strengths, you need an idea that actually gives you an edge. Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal, says the best ideas come from betting on a contrarian truth. Steve Jobs bet that we didn't actually want physical keypads on our phones. Uber bet that we would willingly get into a stranger's car. People thought they were nuts, but that's exactly what gave them a massive head start with zero competition. So the question is, what truth do you see that other people don't? Now, a plan doesn't need to be some 50-page monster document. This right here is the business model canvas. Let's use this example, Timmy's membership builders. You look over in the customer segments box and you see he's targeting YouTubers. What's his value proposition? Building them membership platforms. And how does he make money? Look down at the bottom in revenue streams, a 10% cut. Just like that, in a few seconds, you get the entire business. It is that simple and that powerful. Now, before you spend a single dollar building anything, you have to answer one crucial question. Does anyone actually want this? This is where the minimum viable product, or MVP, is genius. Look at Dropbox. They created a simple little video showing how their product would work. A product that didn't even exist yet. That one fake video grew their waitlist from 5,000 to 75,000 people overnight. That proved demand and got them the funding they needed. So, how can you test your idea for free? Okay, so you've got an idea and you've proven people want it. Now you have to sell it. And that brings us to pillar 2. Sell to anyone. You could have the greatest idea in the history of the world, but if you can't persuade people, it's basically worthless. And hey, this isn't just about business. This is about convincing your boss for a raise or your friends on where to go for dinner. Selling is a fundamental life skill. And get this is kind of wild. Over half of all communication is nonverbal. 55%. That's your body language, your tone of voice, even how you're dressed. Most people actually lose the argument before they even open their mouths, all because they haven't set the right frame. Your presence is speaking long before you do. Let's talk about framing with words, because it's just as powerful. So there's this consultant, and he was getting tired of clients trying to haggle down his price. So he tried something new. In meetings, he'd jokingly throw out a ridiculous number, saying, "Well, I could charge you $1 million for this." By anchoring the conversation way up there, his actual fee of $75,000 suddenly seemed like an absolute steal. And guess what? No one asked for a discount again. It's a simple psychological trick. This question right here comes from a former FBI hostage negotiator named Chris Voss, and it is a secret weapon. Let's say your landlord wants to raise your rent way more than you can afford. Instead of arguing, you just calmly and genuinely ask, how am I supposed to do that? It totally changes the dynamic. It turns a confrontation into a collaborative problem. You're basically asking them to help you solve your problem, and it works like magic. All right, so you can build it, you can sell it one-on-one, but how do you get noticed in a world where literally everyone is screaming for attention? That brings us to pillar 3, marketing. Marketing guru Seth Godin says the key is to be a purple cow. Just imagine you're driving down a country road and you see fields and fields of brown cows. You wouldn't even register them. But what if you saw a purple cow? You'd slam on the brakes, you take a picture, you tell everybody you know. In a world full of boring brown cow marketing, your business has to be remarkable. It has to be that purple cow. One of the best ways to be remarkable is to tell a killer story. But here's the big secret. Your business is not the hero of the story. The customer is. They're the character with the problem. Your business, you're the wise guide, your Yoda, your Dumbledore, the one who gives them a plan and calls them to action so they can win the day. Frame your marketing like that, and people will actually pay attention. Now, once you get a customer, the journey is just beginning. This is called the value ladder, and your dentist is a master of it. First, they get you in the door with a free checkup. Then they offer a teeth cleaning. Then maybe some whitening. Then maybe a retainer. They are literally guiding you up a ladder of services with increasing value and price. And here's the key takeaway. If you don't offer your customers a next step, a way to spend more with you, they'll find a competitor who will. We've made it to our final pillar, and honestly, this is the one that really makes or breaks a business. Managing your money. You can be an absolute genius at the first 3 pillars, but if you mess this part up, your business will fail. Period. Just look at these 2 formulas. The traditional way we're all taught is sales minus expenses equals whatever's left over, which is your profit. But the profit-first method completely flips it on its head. It says sales minus profit equals your expenses. You take your profit out first, you pay yourself first, and then you're forced to figure out how to run the business on whatever is left. It forces you to be efficient, and it guarantees you're actually profitable. Okay, quick brain teaser for you. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 total. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Go ahead, answer it in your head. Quickest answer you can think of. If you said 10 cents, don't worry, you're not alone. That's your fast, intuitive brain, your System 1, leaping to what feels like the obvious answer. The correct answer is actually 5 cents. It takes your slower, more logical System 2 brain to work that out. So what on earth does this have to do with money? Well, in the early days of a business, you're living in System 1, all gut feelings, fast decisions, big risks. But as you grow and the stakes get higher, you absolutely have to learn to engage your slow, analytical System 2 to manage your money and build something that's meant to last. So we've covered the 4 pillars. You now have a plan that's been distilled from 40 of the best business books ever written. But knowing the path is not the same thing as walking the path. All this knowledge is worthless without that final ingredient we talked about, execution. Most people already have the knowledge they need to double their income. The problem isn't a lack of information, it's a lack of action. So there you have it. The strategies for starting, selling, marketing, and managing your money are all laid out for you. You officially have the roadmap. The only question left is the one right there on your screen.